yourselves kind of in the midst of a conversation that you were just having with Porter, who revealed himself to be a kind of not old-time friend of Johoff, but a recent friend of Johoff's, having spent some time in the fighting pits in Mostone. Turn this down a little. Porter happens to be accompanying the two wizards that you were told were points of contact in Luskin on working on behalf of Silvery Moon's sort of wizard enterprises that extend far and wide across Faerun. The quiet one, his name is Kirath, and his friend, or it turns out is his brother actually, is a elf named Luthar. They're half-brothers. One's a half-elf, the other one's a full elf. Anyways, they kind of recently just asked you to meet them in the corner and have a conversation. But this all comes at the end of a very long trip, having gone all the way down the Mirar River, accompanying Darenden after helping him get his diamonds back. And upon arriving in Luskin, you were given a little bit of a tour, shown the sort of Mirabar district known as the Dwarven Shield in Luskin, where the dwarves process the ore and turn it into goods which are sold to people in Luskin and elsewhere. This sort of kind of dwarven enclave within the greater city is sort of its own entity. It has large walls that protect it, and it's run mostly by dwarves. The rest of the city of Luskin is in various states of kind of chaos and disrepair. There are beautiful houses next to falling apart, shambling houses. And you get the feeling that it's sort of the Wild West of cities insofar as the rule of law is not being applied equally across all the people, and that money can get you very far in this city. You were told to go to the Frozen Rudder, so after leaving Darenden at the Red Dragon trading post, you came to the center of town, which was kind of an island kind of spanning the northern side and the southern side, with a bridge on each side. And in the center of this island was a ship which was half submerged in water and half on land. The water, of course, being frozen over, and ice giving you the indication that this is where they got the name, the Frozen Rudder. In the side of it that connects to the land, a large inn has been constructed sort of out of the hull of this ship, and more has been added on, so it's not just a ship anymore. As you entered, you found a stocky dwarf who served you some drinks, and in the center of the room is a man playing a lute and having a hell of a time. And around the room there's an assortment of figures, all who look, various degrees of seedy, but nobody's causing any trouble as far as you can tell. And you get the feeling that peace is something maintained here, perhaps only because nobody wants to be the one to draw first blood. And that's sort of where we're picking up. Are there any questions?
Quick question. About how long has it been since we left the Red Dragon Inn?
Oh, I'd say probably an hour.
Got it. Okay.
And it's like mid-morning?
Let's see. Now? You guys arrived, I think, around the afternoon, and then, so now we're getting into, let's say it's 4 p.m.
Okay. So, when we left off, we were being asked to sit down?
Yes. Luthar had asked you guys to kind of join him in this corner. And, he would kind of gesture quietly towards you to sit.
Yeah, she would work her way towards the inside of the room, figuring that her and Luthar had a lot to talk about.
Porter sits down at the table and gestures to the rest of you to join. They kind of squish in. Okay, so as you guys kind of like awkwardly crowd in around this table, Luthar looks up and says, "Well, there certainly are a lot of you."
Safety in numbers.
Indeed, though discretion seems to be lost. And then he gestures towards all of you, kind of in your bright, shining armor, and points to the stone floating around Isolde's head. That's probably going to get nicked if you're not careful.
Is that quite common here for adventurers to have their things stolen?
Yes. I mean, it's more common than not. This is not a city that follows the rules.
Is it dangerous for us to walk around in armor?
It's dangerous for you to walk around.
I'll keep my armor on then.
Is there perhaps a way to draw less attention to ourselves?
Yeah. Hide anything valuable in your coat? Take back streets, I don't know. It's almost as dangerous to take the back streets, unfortunately. That's where people lie in wait.
Is there anyone we should make friends of immediately, or is everyone bad?
What was that?
Is there anyone that we should make friends of right away to keep safer, or is everyone risky and bad in their own right?
Well, if you're asking if there's any paragons of goodness in this city, I would say they're few and far between. As for people to befriend, they are numerous, but I wouldn't call any of them good.
Sounds like we'll fit right in.
And Porter turns to you and says, "Yeah, you would."
I think I might like this place.
You know, when I first met you, I kind of thought Show-Off would do well up here. Of course, figured you'd freeze to death, so I never really ran the idea by you.
Yeah, I mean, as lovely as this town sounds, it would be nice if my tits was not always so fucking freezing.
Yeah, well, furs help. That cloak you're wearing isn't much. And
You are from here, right, Porter?
born and raised.
So you would be familiar with all of the different factions and conflicts going on.
Familiar is a general term. There's so much
So, I suppose we have business to talk about.
Yeah. I'll leave you guys to it. And then Porter gets up and goes to the bar to get a drink. And Luthar turns to you and says, "Yes, very well. I was told to convey any information that I could, given the state of Luskin, but I wasn't told much more than that. What all do you need from us?"
I'm maybe not entirely sure. I was under the impression that you would have information for us that could, I guess, orient us in our search for a particular artifact.
Yeah, well, I mean... Sorry, let's do the wrong voice. He says, I may know things, but it is not entirely clear what artifact you're looking for. I have not been filled in on the details, and frankly, I'm not sure if I should be. All I know is that I have done research here in the ruins of the Arcane Host Tower, and I've been told that whatever you're looking for might be involved in that.
And what research are you doing?
Well, it looks stable. Anyways, most recently, Isolde said, asked what he was excavating, and Luthar responded, the ruins, under the Arcane Tower.
Missile would speak up and go, have you found anything significant there?
A number of things.
Any magical items?
Of course.
Such as?
The things we find, they are, well, they're kept secret for a reason. The magic that, is contained in the host tower is, unbelievably powerful, and, only the most responsible wizards are allowed to maintain it. So, fortunately, I'm not really allowed to tell you.
Would we be able to also investigate the ruins?
Yes, I was wondering if you would ask. It's possible, and frankly, given Taryn's recommendation, I see no problem with you joining us. The only real matter is getting the clearance. The wizards who back us paid a substantial financial fee in order to secure us passage to the Arcane Tower. Or its remnants, rather. I'm not quite sure the same will be extended to you. You would have to, earn the right to get to the tower on your own, or risk the wrath of the Queen.
By the Queen you mean Pirate Queen?
The one and only.
She's protective of the ruins.
She's protective of anything that can get her money, and the ruins are highly sought after.
Must we pay her, or do her a favor, or both?
It's not clear. It will depend on the moment. The gold we paid to get clearance to investigate the ruins was, sort of a contingent fee. I don't know if she would extend the same favor to you, but it's entirely possible. Otherwise, favors go very far in Luskin.
How should we approach communicating with her?
Well, that's another tricky question. She either comes to you, or you earn her attention. Now, if you earn her attention in a bad way, she might not, speak with you. If you know what I mean.
Yes. We will take care not to attract the wrong kind of attention then.
Yes. The way we earned her attention was, fairly non-conventional. And then he points to Porter. He says, that man helped us earn some fame in the local fighting pit, and well, once we beat through enough trials, the Queen summoned us in front of her.
It is perhaps a ticket that is within our grasp, if that is something she is fond of.
Yes, I would imagine a group of adventurers is entirely capable of surviving in the pits. The question is it worth it to you? Death is certainly not the end goal of the pits, but it does happen. There are healers that stand by, but sometimes they're a little slow on the draw.
Is your pirate queen fond of donations?
First of all, she's not my pirate queen. She's Luskin's pirate queen. And in that effect, from now on, she's all of our pirate queen. And I recommend that you treat things that way. As for donations, yes, she's a fan, but frankly, I'm not even sure you could afford it.
Might there be a favor we could do, besides fighting in a death pit, to perhaps make her some money?
Of course, but the question is, in order to secure a favor with her, you would have to gain audience with her, and the pit is the only way I know of gaining that audience.
What kind of problems does the Queen have that we might be able to solve for her?
That I do not know.
Seems like a good question, though.
Indeed.
The other pirate factions here will have more intimate information about the sort of problems that she has.
The other pirate factions have their own wants and needs. Some of them might be willing to help you sort of to scorn the Queen herself, so be careful who you ally with.
So that's part of the attention we are sort of wanting to avoid then.
Indeed. You may find help from the Obsidian Tide or the Whalers, but everything comes at a cost in Luskin.
It all seems very delicate.
Extremely.
Well, in terms of the information that we were meant to gather from you, I think it is maybe best that once we gain access to these ruins that we are able to have a frank discussion about the sort of things that go on here.
I'm not sure I follow.
What I mean is, you said that this tower has very powerful magic and that you can't really discuss the sort of things that are found there. And I would ask that were we to also gain access to the ruins, that we would be able to share notes on the sort of things that we find.
I will share what I can, but I cannot make any promises.
Understood.
Taryn has vouched for you, but there are things that must remain with behind closed doors.
Could I ask one more question?
Of course.
Has any of your research overlapped with a period of time where Luskin was attacked by a white dragon?
Of course, yes. I know of this. Luskin has been under attack numerous times. Of course, the research that I and my brother here, Kirath, perform pertains to the host tower, which only collapsed recently in response to the spell plague, once it was torn apart by the powerful magic therein. But any attack of a white dragon, or any dragon, would predate the collapse of the host tower.
Have there been any stories or reports of a recent dragon sighting lately?
There are always stories of dragon sightings. Of course, one always wonders if that's just the imaginations of the dragon sighters.
But nothing offhand, huh? Or recent?
No.
Well, are you staying here at the Frozen Rudder?
Yes, we have a room here that we pay for.
Right. I think that perhaps we will need to speak again once we figure out how we are approaching the situation.
Indeed. I suspect we'll speak many times.
Is there anything that you need our help with?
Well, if you get clearance to navigate the host tower, then of course we could always use your help clearing it out. It's full of all sorts of untold monstrosities. Kirath and I have been fortunate enough to keep ourselves alive, and with the aid of Porter, we've been able to do quite well for ourselves. But I fear the deeper we get into this thing, the more dangerous it'll get, and the more it will get outside of the scope of our possibilities.
I see. Well, I suppose then our first task will be securing these clearances.
Yes, of course. I will tell you, there are other ways onto that island without securing clearances. There are people that could help you get there. But I will warn you, shortcuts can lead to disaster.
What sort of people?
Any of the factions will probably have a way to get you there, if you do the right things for them.
The island guarded.
The island itself is not guarded, no. The island lies... the only point of access on foot is across a bridge that is connected to an island controlled by the Queen. So, if you want to approach the island from a different way, you must probably go by boat.
We'd likely be seen.
Yes, of course, there's always the cover of night, but I'm not here to help you plan your way of circumventing the law and rule of the Queen.
It is good to keep in mind, though, at least if, for whatever reason, we attract the wrong sort of attention, that there are other ways.
Yes. There's always another way in Luskin.
Is Johoff not at the table? He's over with Porter.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, midway through the conversation, he got so flippin' bored that he started looking around for a way out, and then he downed his beer in a single go, and then muttered something about a refill, and got out around to go to the the bar with Porter.
Did you want to have a conversation with Porter?
I mean, nothing specific. He would just be making small talk about what shit's been going on since they saw each other last. But there's nothing like, no information he's looking for.
Yeah. Okay, so I just imagine he's like showing off his like armor to you and like his weapon, and you guys are just chatting about arena fights and stuff.
Yeah, showing him my new tattoo and shit.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose we should reserve some rooms, and she like kind of looks around to the rest of the group, discuss what it is that we want to do.
Yeah, and DeMarcus would just kind of like get up and nod at Luthar and Roth and just say thank you.
Of course. Godspeed. And then,
And
as you guys are sort of getting up, Luthar would turn to Taryn and say, "You don't happen to be related to Gilgamesh, do you?"
Related to Gilgamesh? No.
I've just never seen another speckled dragonborn.
Gilgamesh is speckled?
Indeed.
Speckled with what?
The scales of other colors of dragons. I thought he was one of a kind.
Taryn looks really thoughtful for a moment and goes, yeah, seems to be a rarity.
Interesting. Well, it's probably better that you're not. He's, well, he could be a great deal of trouble.
Yeah, indeed.
What
Taryn
kind of
just-
trouble?
He says, well, he happens to be the leader of one of the most powerful pirate factions in this city, so, that kind of trouble.
I see. Well, that might be helpful and hindering in some ways. Thanks for the heads up.
Of course. And as you guys get up, he says, do feel free to send our bodyguard back at some point, will you? And perhaps not too drunk?
Of course, we will. We'll try not to let him and Johoff drink too many.
Very well.
Missile has kind of slowly hobbled to a nearby seat and kind of ignores the two men sitting there as he observes Mortimer dancing to the lutist with a look of disappointment on his face.
The two guys don't like stop talking for a while, and then they look up and realize that there's just like a really old, kind of like sickly looking gnome sitting on the chair, and they kind of like turn their bodies more directly away from you and talk quietly to themselves.
Marcus asks Joe off after he sits down next to him. Feeling any nostalgia for pit fighting?
Well, I don't know if nostalgia's the right word, but, you know, if that's what we got to do. Why, is that on the menu?
Yeah. Given our lack of any kind of coherent plan from that conversation, I don't know. I'd say it's most likely that we trouble here and have to dig ourselves out, and that's how we proceed.
Porter takes like a big gulp and goes, "You guys are going through the pits, huh?"
Probably not by choice.
Yeah, well, choice isn't real anyways. And he takes another big drink, and Says, Joaf, take care of yourself. And, don't let Isolde die. She's one of the good ones. And he just walks off.
Fucking emo bastard. Right, so when are we getting into these pits?
Oh, probably in due time. We don't really know much about this place at all. Other than that, we're probably going to get in trouble sooner rather than later. Marcus glances around for Missile and sees him over there. And is kind of like watching him out of the corner of his eye.
Missile does not notice.
Ooh, what's he doing? He's just watching Mortimer dance around.
Yeah, with a look of disappointment on his face, relishing the opportunity to use one of his level 9 abilities. Actually, Missile probably would get up and kind of hobble over to the group, leaning heavily on his walking stick, and would go up to Isolde and say, Master Isolde, something I've forgotten to do was return your ring to you. And he would take off his necklace and give her the ring. And he would say, there surely must be a way for us to gain access to the tower without entering whatever it was he was suggesting we do.
Without entering the fighting pits, you mean?
Yes. I should very much like to avoid that.
Huh. Well, it seems that it would be possible, but risky. It is a conversation worth having whether or not we will try to do things in line with the way that Luskin is done. It might make our lives a bit easier, although it will be a tense line to walk.
We do have the lead of the other speckled dragonborn if we want to go that route as well.
Not sure what you mean by a lead.
Or option, I guess.
Oh, we know he might want to kill Terran.
Yes, I don't think that there's anything... We don't know enough about any of the captains of the factions to choose any of them to trust, and it seems like that would be a quick way to make sure that the Queen sees us as enemies.
If the speckled dragonborn leader of a faction is interested in another speckled dragonborn walking around, I'm sure that he'll already know about it. We'll find out what he thinks about it soon enough.
And the barkeep, who's just sitting there listening to all of this, cleaning a glass, goes, if you want to fight in the pits, I can tell you how. But if you're worried about the attention of a dragonborn, I can assure you, he's already aware. And he points to the corner over here, where you see a dragonborn with speckled colored scales, kind of eyeballing your group from afar. In his finger, he's kind of got like a glowing light that he's kind of like, but you know that thing where people like flick a pencil between their fingers? He's doing that with that kind of ball of energy.
Cool.
Where is he?
Over
Looks like
here.
northeast of
Okay,
us.
got it.
Next to Wisnik.
Yep.
Really think we should befriend that guy.
Is that the Wisnik? Oh my god.
Yeah, was Missile done asking questions?
Yeah, he just isn't too keen on fighting in a fighting pit, that's all.
Yeah. It is up for us to decide. We would, I guess, need to understand how the fighting pit works. And was it the bartender who said that he could find us a way into the fighting pit?
Yeah.
This fighting pit, is it like a one-on-one sort of ordeal?
No. It's a group versus group.
Are all the fights fair?
Of course not.
Do we have to make certain friends before we went in there?
No. No need for friends. Just bring a weapon.
Are there any rules?
No.
Are spells allowed, or is it all just...
Of course. Anything you have.
Alright. I don't know if anyone's paying enough attention, but, like, Taryn is, like, obviously deliberately not looking behind him at this point.
Yeah. I think, DeMarcus would be wondering how Tyrion wants to behave around the other Dragonborn.
Oi, barkeep. Right, can you give me some information about folks at these other tables? What factions we got represented here?
Of course. He points this way, to your left, and he says, "These are the Queen's people. Do not bother them." And then he points to the northeast and says, "That is Gilgamesh and his sailors." And then he points to the table you're from and says, "These are the wizards. You know them." And lastly, he points to this character over here and says, "That fella in the big hat goes by Benji. He is the leader of the Obsidian Tide."
And the dwarves up over in the far corner there?
Just dwarves.
Are you yourself, or you have any allegiance here?
I go by the captain, and I have no allegiance except to coin.
You have quite the clientele. It seems that everyone is represented here.
Not everyone, but many people like my ale.
The Queen's people, do they watch? Are they here to observe or keep people in line?
The Queen's people watch wherever they are, but no, they're here to drink. Of course, if you talk bad about the Queen, they may kill you.
Alright.
What factions is we missing here? What are not represented here in your fantastic pub?
There are no members of the Frost Sails here.
That typical, or just happened to be the case tonight?
It is more typical than not, but is the case tonight.
Well, Captain, I'm grateful for the information, and even more grateful for this delicious ale.
You are welcome. Pay more gold.
I think we can arrange a certain understanding between us.
I like you.
Yes, we are also hoping to get a set of rooms to stay for probably quite a while. What is the rate for your rooms?
How many people? How many room?
Oh, I think usually we do about 3 rooms. About 2 of us to a room.
15 gold a day.
all together then, not per room. 15
Correct.
gold a day.
15 gold total.
Alright, and it is something that I could pay up front and keep those rooms held for a couple days.
Yes, this is preferred.
Alright. And she kind of like looks over at everyone else. Are you alright bunking up together, or do you want separate quarters?
Together is fine.
Fine with me.
I think it is safer that way. Not to say anything against your establishment, but, you know, we have maybe grown a bit paranoid.
Paranoia is good. Keeps you alive.
I think I am starting to like this place very, very much.
She'll hand him like 60 gold for the next 4 nights.
Cool. He takes it and like immediately pockets it, and you look on him and you're not even sure where he put it. It was so fast.
Smooth.
So do we want to get started with the fighting pits now? Or at least scope them out?
I suppose some information gathering couldn't hurt. Where are these fighting pits, Captain?
Oh, they are in the center of town.
So it is not a hidden activity of any sort, it is just like another site in the city.
No, it is a very popular place.
Alright.
The people of Luskin like to see the blood.
Well, I
Checks
fucking
out.
love this town. Fucking. Oi, Captain. From one inked man to another, I think your tattoos are something special, and was wondering if you had got them somewhere here in Ruskin.
Yes, I did.
You got any recommendations?
Well, this one, and he points to his forearm, he says, this one was done by my grandmother. She is no longer with us.
Condolences. Condolences.
And then he points to the one above his eyebrow, he says, this one is done by my nephew. He is in the Mirabar Shield.
What, he just does family, or he's does for anyone?
He can do for anyone.
Oh, well, thanks much. You guys might have to, like, drag Joe Hop out of here when it's time to leave Luskin.
What's Damon been doing this whole time? It's been pretty quiet.
Damon is just guard. He doesn't trust all the riffraff in this tavern.
Very well.
Well, I think maybe we should have one more ale, and then maybe go check out who is fighting in the pits.
What? One more ale it is? And then Joe Hop kind of secretly holds up 2 fingers to the captain.
She has, by the way, taken down her Ioun stone
Mm-hmm.
and has taken the red braided piece of leather that she wears around her forehead off. And has
Got it.
pocketed them both. And her shield is covered up by her furs on her back.
Very well.
John, since I'm maybe at an angle where I can see what Gilgamesh is up to, can I maybe get a perception on how he seems, if he seems to be paying a lot of attention to Tyrion or not, or what the vibe is?
Yeah, roll perception for me. Yeah, I'll say that DeMarcus can tell that he has looked over, but not much more than that. So you know that he sees you. You've kind of had that moment where you both made eye contact for a moment, but nothing really more than that. And in your brief time watching him, he's just been sort of doing that finger trick with this ball of energy between his fingers over and over and over.
Okay.
Could I tell what color scale or speckled scales that he has?
Yeah, let me pull up my journal, make sure I don't say anything wrong.
Like the primary color?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As I'm looking over there, surely I would notice this gentleman in the corner in that direction. And I would ask the bartender, you know who that strange man is in the corner over there next to Gilgamesh? Seems very familiar.
Are you speaking of Wisnik?
Perhaps. I feel like I've seen him before.
That is strange. He is one of a kind.
Is he part of any of the factions?
No. He is a sellsword, if you will.
And I would look at Isolde and Joab and everyone around me. I'd be like, where have we seen him before?
I mean, it looks like the same guy that we met in Rivermoot.
Silver.
Yeah, Silvery Moon.
Yeah, I think we considered hiring him as a guide, but chose not to.
Marcus takes, he basically just downs the rest of his beer and he says, well, probably better for his sake.
I'm just gonna go to the side of the bar, I'm gonna talk to Taryn and then try to look at Wisnik and see what he's doing.
Okay. Roll a perception for me.
Oh, I guess I have to refresh. While I was away from the keyboard, maybe we lost contact?
Yeah, I had to jump back in too. I got
Who knows? Fuck Spectrum.
Who knows? It's our new favorite gambling game. Okay.
Yeah. Ooh, look at that new proficiency bonus. He seems to be drinking ale. He's singing along to the song that the bard is playing in the middle of the room. He knows all the lyrics. And he's just kind of every once in a while he just grabs a handful of food off his plate, kind of stuffs it in his mouth.
Alright. And the bard? Do I recognize anything about them, or they do anything weird watching anyone?
The bard is kind of looking around the room as he plays, maybe looking for, just make sure people are enjoying the music, but he seems really into the music.
Okay.
Did I get any information? Off of looking at the Dragonborn?
Oh. Didn't I already do that, or no?
No, not yet.
That's my bad. I jumped in while you were doing it.
Oh, okay. What was Vosner doing? Was he perception rolling?
Yeah.
him?
Yeah.
Oh, to figure out what colors he is. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
predominantly silver, and he has flecks of blue and gold and bronze.
Blue, gold, and bronze. Alright. I just turn to Tara and I say, so, scales, but I don't know. I don't know how you feel about it, but maybe when we have a quieter place we can chat about it.
Maybe. I mean,
From another time, I guess.
yeah, another time. We never really thought I was the only Dragonborn with magic, so
It's true. But you are my favorite Dragonborn with magic, and I kind of give him a little shove.
he kind of smirks for a second, but is still like consciously not looking over his shoulder.
Hmm.
Demarcus would kind of like chime in on that conversation and be like, might be able to rest easier, Tyrion. I don't think that he's looking at you as though he wants to start a fight or anything. He definitely knows that you're here, but you're okay.
Aaron kind of nods.
At a game, I got to run to another meeting, but if I get on, or if I get out of it soon enough, I'll hop back on. So,
Okay. No worries. Do you want me to play your
you.
character, or Laurel, or what?
you guys, you can play my character. That's fine.
Okay.
I think that'll be fine.
Got it.
All right, toodaloo, guys.
See ya.
Bye.
I do want to table talk a little bit of something because there's some information I gave Missile a long time ago that might be, like he might have forgotten at this point. Dylan might have. When you were researching Luskin, you determined that there was a ruins of Ilusk, which is an old city, which is where you think the portal probably is, and you know that it is near the Arcane Host Tower, but it is not the same ruins.
I didn't know that part. Thank you.
Yeah, you know that they're basically on that same little island, but you don't know if they are linked up in any way or if they are entirely separate. You know basically nothing about that part.
So sorry, just to reiterate, the host tower is near, but not the same thing as the Netherese ruins.
Correct.
And what Luthar was talking about was the host tower. So presumably, once we get there, we're a short step away from wherever the ruins would be.
Yes. Or, I mean, potentially you could look for the ruins by themselves. So there's like, but both of them are on that island, which Luthar was saying you need permission to go on.
Yeah, I think at this point, Missile was just thinking we get to the island first, and then as the narrative develops, we'll see where we end up.
Very well.
Is Missile over there just like frowning at Mortimer? Or?
Yeah, basically, wandered over, sees Morty dancing, and he'll mutter like, "Oh, truly perfection is yet to be attained." He'll take Morty and come back to all of us.
Poor Morty.
I get the sense that maybe Missile likes 12-tone music.
Schoenberg guy.
Yeah, he's a big Schoenberg guy, absolutely.
Oi, Captain.
Yes.
Will you say here in Loscam, most people are aligned with some faction or other, or would you say most people like yourself just kind of neutral when it comes to factions?
It's a good question. Everybody is working for somebody, but not everybody maintains alliances.
And the factions, do they ever work together, or is it pretty much always separated out by faction?
This is volatile. Sometimes they work together. Most times they kill each other. And most factions do not last very long. Couple of years.
So, what, the factions here that you point out to me, are they fairly young then?
Oh, well... Obsidian Tide is very old. The Whalers, sort of young. The Frost Sails, about middle. The Queen's Guard is a tricky one. Of course, in some ways they are working for the king, in which case, very old. But, in some ways they're working just for the queen, which is newer.
Well, it makes sense, thank you for that.
Are there, is there like a community of people from the north here? Like Fire Shear or Icewind Dale? Or Gunderland?
People come from all over. Not so many people from Gunderland anymore.
Ah, okay. They don't have like a district or somewhere that they hang out?
No district.
Alright. She'll just sit and finish her beer.
Marcus would kind of like, once he's finished his beer, sort of like, he would look at the captain and say, "Sir, I have a question that I don't think you'll like to answer, and I understand if you tell me to kindly fuck off. But if I were to ask you what the Queen's biggest problem was, you know, say a band of adventurers walking into town might be able to gain some favor with her over, what would you say?"
Yes. This is a bad question, but
I understand, I'm sorry.
the answer is always simple. Everyone wants more power. As for what she wants in particular, I cannot tell you.
Marcus kind of like graciously nods and says, "Well, thank you all the same."
That Dragonborn in the corner. He's head of one of the factions, is he not?
Gilgamesh, yes.
Missile would kind of whisper among the crew and say, "Perhaps if we eliminated him now, that would be sufficient."
I'm sorry, what?
He would be an obstacle to the Queen's power, you see. We could remove the obstacle.
She just like kind of holds her hands out. Let's not talk about that.
Yeah, the captain just goes, "I hear nothing," and he walks away.
Yeah,
Jesus fucking boy.
he feeds ale to criminals. Of course he's not going to hear anything.
I like how like a missile whisper is probably heard by the entire bar.
Crew, I have a question.
um, I'm sorry. Like, what? That was a serious proposal to it. Like here, now?
Well, perhaps not here, but now. Lure him outside? I don't know. It just seemed quick and efficient.
Can I roll
Why
an
the fuck
insight
are we
check
still
on this?
talking about this? Shut up! Shut up! We're not talking about this here. Down here. What? Jesus Christ. Oh my god.
Is Missile being genuine?
Yeah, I'm just brainstorming, man.
Yeah.
It seems better one guy in a bar than several in a blood pit, you know what I mean?
Marcus looks
She-
at Missile and says, Missile starting an all-out war in a criminal town would be one of the worst ways for you to make that construct later on.
This is true. Fair enough. And he'll resign himself.
Can I just like glance over at DeMarcus, almost to say like, that was really fucking weird.
DeMarcus looks at you, knowing that Missile is utterly oblivious to these kinds of things, almost like, no shit, basically.
Yeah. Makes sense.
I could launch into like a risk calculation, but we won't bother with that.
I think regardless of the fact of whether or not like Missile genuinely calculated that and was offering it as a brainstorming thing, Isolde's just too suspicious of him at this point.
Someone's gonna get killed.
How's about if running in the future we have these little town hall meetings somewhere where we can't be heard, what? Instead of out in the fucking open where anyone can hear us?
I agree that maybe we should have adjourned to our room. Maybe we're not all yet used to having 4 rounds of ale.
Marcus
Yeah,
glances
that's-
at Missile and says, us drinking ale is not the problem.
Oh, I don't drink!
We know Missile.
Of course he doesn't.
Let's just if we're all done here, maybe we walk to the city center and get some fresh air and go somewhere else.
And not discuss any plans while we're out and about, right?
Right.
Missile doesn't
Just for
acknowledge
the
that.
record, Joe Hoff has not been at all really suspicious of Missile with all of the stuff that's made anyone else suspicious. But when he just found out that you don't drink, he's immediately deeply suspicious.
That's hilarious.
I'm glad that public suggestions of homicide don't tip you off. It's the sobriety. Yeah, but of
Just
course,
mildly inconvenient.
Missile doesn't know what's tactful or not in public spaces, so he's just spitballing, you know?
Yeah. I mean, there's no one to overhear you in a library, so
This is true.
not a skill he's trained to think about. Alright. Is everyone cool with leaving the bar?
Yeah.
Josh,
What time is it in the day right now?
I'll say 6 p.m.
Oh, we might as well just stay.
And
Well,
go to
just
the
get a
pits in
look
the
at
morning?
Could at least get a look
Yeah.
at the blood pits.
Yeah, why not?
Alright.
I'm sure there is no open container laws or anything. You can take a nail to go, Johoff.
that was always the plan.
Alright. I do think we should probably all heed the warning about putting anything that we have that is a bit flashy, maybe on the inside of our jackets, and try to blend in as much as possible.
Marcus kind of like covers up under his furs and cloak like his armor as best as he can, and sort of like looks at it, and he's like, I don't know if I'd consider this armor flashy.
Not after the last fight.
Certainly.
Bit too acid marred for that. Does Terran still have an Ioun stone?
He does. And he doesn't
Is
really
he-
move to remove it. He just kind of shrugs and goes, "I'm probably will draw more attention to us than my stone will."
Yeah, DeMarcus looks at Damon and he says, I don't know if we're going to be very good at fitting in. We might just need to accept that.
I will do my best to remain inconspicuous.
We know Damon. And DeMarcus would also tell Damon, if anybody seems dangerous, just try to restrain yourself. Everyone's here and everyone will seem like a threat.
Of course. At this moment, it seems the most aggressive individual in here may in fact be Master Missile.
Kind of only half listening, Missile is going to turn Morty into his flamethrower setting and going to wear him as a backpack as we make to leave the bar.
Karen walking away, pats Damon on the back and says, "Try not to fireball him."
John is feverishly looking through random encounter tables, I'm sure.
Yeah. You
So,
joke,
hey,
but I definitely realized I didn't have art ready for like certain things, so I'm making it as you're talking.
Stan, is Tyrion
What did she
still
have?
like, looking like a fancy wizard? Does he have like a fancy hat and stuff? What's going on?
No, he's just got a cloak on. And the Iron Stone, so there's that.
Yeah. I was gonna warn him about the Iron Stone thing getting snatched, but then I remembered he's like 7 or 8 feet tall.
Right. There's gonna be like a halfling pickpocket, like leaping through the air trying to get to it.
The most acrobatic rogue you've ever seen. Just decides to fuck with the Dragonborn.
I think before we, like right as we're about to exit, Damon would try and get one last look at Gilgamesh to see if he seems to be reacting to their departure.
He roll a perception check for me.
Nice.
Yeah, you can tell he noticed it.
Making friends.
I would just point that out to Isolde once we were out the door.
Point out that he was watching us leave.
Yeah, that just like he was paying attention to us, and he almost definitely, therefore, heard what Missile said. So we may already have made a powerful enemy.
I am
Might
not
as well just get it
surprised.
over with.
Right, we should just attack him now, like, he's an enemy.
The soul's right.
If Gilgamesh sees us as a threat that we no longer have any sort of advantage of surprise, he might try to surprise us, actually. But I think for now it is not a bad thing to be known to him as an enemy, if that makes sense.
I apologize, Captain. I did not mean to imply we should panic. I simply meant to point out that this was the case. We have been noticed.
Oh yes, I appreciate you very much, Damon. It was not you that I was addressing. It was the sudden jumping on of the others wanting to go ahead with Missile's plan. I think we need to gather information and not act too rashly.
Or
And
speak.
she's saying this like kind of everyone else, not so much to Damon.
Damon would nod at that, though.
Damon's right. Everyone knows about us already. All the factions and all the people that matter. Probably the best move for us would be to impress them with fighting in the pits so that they all perhaps try to give us some useful task. In favor.
Yes, I think that is probably best. It is also the case that if we make something of a name for ourselves here, that We might be less likely to be crossed by other groups that are not ready to handle us. Or we might be noticed by other members in the community, shop owners and things. So it might be a good social circle to get into.
Did the captain tell us how to get into the fighting pit?
He said it's
No.
in the center of town.
So we just show up and say, "Can we join?"
Yeah, essentially.
Sick.
Why don't we just go watch first, maybe? Watch and perhaps keep our mouths shut?
Missile would nod enthusiastically as though you were talking about somebody else.
That was the plan. Just regular old visitors to Luskin. And, I did want to take a moment to remind everyone that there may be people who present themselves to us as allies that are not allies. The task that we're undertaking here is contentious, and Terran warned that the enemies of the Alliance would be clever. So be on your guard.
Even against your two little wizard friends, right?
I suppose. That is why I asked if Porter should be even in that conversation, though. Well, I was going to say I trust Porter, but I barely know him. I think it is best if we gather as much information and give away as little as possible.
That seems like the wisest course of action. Shall we?
Yes. Guess that'll depend on whether or not John has hastily thrown together our next scene yet.
What are you talking about? So, yeah. So,
John, we can't hear you again. At least I can.
you can?
I can hear him.
Oh, I can.
Oh,
Yeah, I can.
Sorry. I'll reload.
Okay. Anyways, so yes and no. So here's what I'll tell you. I have a number of things constructed, though I didn't realize I only had one of these things half constructed, and I've got most of it filled out now. But at some point I may need to break for 5 minutes just to load, aka redesign stuff. This is kind of the problem with doing a giant quest hub. It's I don't know what things you'll go for immediately. So I will say that I don't have a scene for the RP of going to the fighting pit, but if you guys want to go to the fighting pit and talk to somebody, you can.
I think probably we would just want to stroll around and see what sort of people, how many people are on each of the fighting teams, and if we can maybe, I don't know, get a judge for their skill level.
Yeah.
And if it costs anything to enter.
Yeah. So
Also, the space in which would be fighting, the size, whether there's.
yeah. So I'll give you a preview of. So let me just throw you to the scene. I'll put you up in the stands.
Cool.
Okay, this should be pretty close. Okay, so I throw you to that scene. Okay, so You find a big sign that just says, like, the underground arena, and you get the feeling that the sign is underground. Underground is being used not in the sense of, like, clandestine, but in the sense of, like, it's literally just, like, a little bit underground, like it was dug out. So that's why it's underground. And there's no, like, security or anything. You just walk up and kind of stroll in, and as you stroll in, you enter into this large stone chamber, and it's a circular sand pit with spikes kind of adorning various points on the side walls, and there's some rocks and some leftover blood in the pit, and some, like, broken and discarded weapons. And yeah, it's relatively empty. There's some people standing around, but you know, yeah. And as you walk in, some old guy comes up and he says, "Can I help you?"
Oh, when's the next fight there, sir?
Midnight.
It always happen in the middle of the night.
It's always at midnight.
Well,
Did you cut out, Tim?
oh, maybe sometimes my thumb misses the button. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
I said, just the one fight at midnight or several?
Well, depends on the night. Why are you looking to make a run through the pit?
Well, they're all just looking for some sport, right? Looking for something to watch. Any good groups coming through I should keep my eyes on?
At the moment, we're not doing group stuff. I mean, we got group stuff, but not group versus group stuff. Right now we got a special going. We got, any group wants to sign up, it's gotta fight some pretty fierce monsters.
Oh yeah, what? So, and, are there any sort of, long-standing championship groups that are going to be coming through and fighting the monsters that can come and see? I'm looking for the best possible fights.
There's some groups, but, they ain't any good right now.
Oh yeah, so you haven't got any championship groups, right?
No, nobody making a run right now. Every once in a while, a group will get the coin together, think they can win their way through the trials, and then they get beat to death.
Well, that sounds like exactly the sort of sport I'm here to see. What's the group got to pay to get in there?
It's 50 gold a head.
And that covers the monsters they got to fight and whatnot?
Yep.
What, is it different monsters each night at midnight? Or is it same monsters every night? Because, again, looking for the best possible fights. I'm here to be entertained after all.
Yeah. Each night, different monsters. If you, beat the first round, you can go on to the second round. Most people don't beat the first round.
Oh, is it a secret what the first round is? Or is it, open to knowledge?
Not a secret, but... I mean... Don't you want to be surprised?
Yeah, good point. Yeah, I suppose that would make for a better, spectator sport. Right, well, I am excited to see some fights, so you will be seeing more of me, sir. And by the way, your name is?
Jethro.
Jethro, right, well, my name is Joe Hallflam. I am pleased to meet you, and you will be seeing more of me as we take on some of these fights, and maybe even spend a little bit of gold. I assume there's some, wagering and bartering going on.
Mm-hmm.
You looking to fight tonight?
Oh, well, I don't know about that. I'm thinking maybe we were just spectators for tonight. Want to see what we're in for and, enjoy the sport before we get ourselves dirty.
It's probably not going to be a great fight tonight. The people coming in here are going to get killed.
Is there a prize if you survive?
Triple the fee.
Well, I can't say that's not fair. Was it just in one group tonight?
Why are you so sure that they will die?
I looked at them.
Well, I'll trust your judgment, sir. And, a little bit of blood, even if it's not a great fight, still worth coming out to see, I suppose.
Okay.
And he just walks away.
Well, we can either go check out the rest of town or wait at the Frozen Rudder, I guess.
Do we want to fight tonight? Just get this ball moving?
Would I be able to, or would we have time between now and then to update spell lists and prepare new spells if necessary? Like, I know you have to do that after a long rest, but there's also something about
I assume you did that when you leveled up, so that's fine with me.
Got it.
I don't mind, like, table talk, I don't mind you changing your spells now.
Will do.
Maybe it would be best to see what kind of monsters that this group is fighting, so that we could be prepared, if it is mostly fire or poison or something, we could prepare for that.
Well, gentlemen say it might be different monsters every night, so I don't know how much we can prepare. Though we might be able to get a sense of, the severity of monsters they're putting in the ring.
Fair.
It would be helpful to do some reconnaissance. We don't know just how ruleless fights are, if interventions are allowed, anything. Traps.
Not to mention,
Yes.
watching a fight is just, fucking fun. What?
I suppose.
We ain't got to be all business while we're here. Enjoy the sights. Be part of the, the culture.
Do you think it is
I recall-
enjoyable?
Go ahead, Izzy, sorry.
Oh, even if they die, it is enjoyable?
We all die sometimes. And, maybe it's their time.
I suppose that's fair.
Go off is right. I remember the last fight that we watched was quite enjoyable.
It was certainly something.
Joff kind of glares at Darks, but then gets like a little sort of crooked grin on his face. You asked if I was nostalgic, and I said no. But there's a part of me that really does love a good pit fight.
I don't doubt that at all, Johoff.
There's there's a simplicity to it.
What happens after the fight that could be the problem? I seem to remember you screaming and then falling down.
Yeah, well, there's always that, the bill comes due after the fight, I suppose. That's true.
Sure does. Well, guess we'll find out a lot more about it tonight.
Wonder if they've got like a booth that sells like little flags with people's names on it and the vuvuzelas, whatnot.
Yes.
quickly looking for Uvasuela sound clips.
We haven't made nearly enough inquiries into merch on this journey.
I mean, I've got a horn of blasting that might be able to do the trick.
Oh my god.
Hey, maybe we end up using that bad boy in a bit.
Speaking of merch, though, before we does get into pits, I would like to get a few more darts. I know that probably won't use them that much in such an enclosed space, but it's good to have them in the arsenal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should probably pick up something for throwing as well, but see.
We've got the coin, so we could stop by some of the stores before they close.
Should we go check out town then?
Sure.
Okay. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna throw you to the streets. Turn off that fucking tavern music. Just getting out of control. And throw on this. No, that's not right. It's a little better. Sorry. Okay. So, you guys you exit the arena and start kind of wandering the streets of Luskin. What you see is a lot of like kind of ramshackle buildings. You get the feeling that in the last 30 years, a lot of these buildings have been sort of either poorly maintained or like propped up. There's not like a lot of new construction going on in this city, and a lot of the old buildings are sort of on their last leg. But nevertheless, there are a number of people living here, and the streets are fairly packed with people kind of moving tightly in between. You guys can all see that, right? Yeah, okay. Anyways, as you walk, you do find a market selling, general wares, and if you want to pick up some darts, you can. I'll just say, 20 darts is, 5 gold.
Yeah, it sounds good. If that's alright with the group.
Yeah, I'll take it out of our thing.
Are
you sure you don't want more than that?
Go ahead, sorry.
Well, presumably if I use them in the pit fight, I should be able to get, some of them back. So I think 20 should be fine for now, at least.
Okay.
DeMarcus pick up a couple javelins to throw at stuff if you might not be able to reach it at some point. How much would those run, John, for I don't know, 5?
Yeah, just 5 gold for 10 javelins.
Alright. Would it be okay with everybody if I got some?
Yep.
Yeah,
I'll
go
put it
for
on the ledger.
Sometimes a ranged attack might be necessary for DeMarcus.
I don't know if we can trust him after he lost his last one.
No.
You guys could have went down and got it. You guys are just like, nah, it's too far down.
I was just so cold.
Yeah, a lot of death in that hole. I think just walking away was the right choice.
With our luck, we would have gotten it out fine, but it'd taken us an hour, and the rest of the barbarian tribe would have just arrived to us swimming around in the lake.
And we would have been at exhaustion level 3.
Yeah.
That's probably pretty accurate.
I mean, if there's a place where Damon could rifle through spell scrolls or something, he would maybe look through some of that. But otherwise, there's probably nothing he's too interested in looking for.
Yeah, you're not going to find any like high magic items here. Not that Luskin doesn't have any, but they're not going to be on the open street.
Yeah, so after like a cursory look, Damon's just here for emotional support.
Is there anything else you guys are looking for in the market?
Probably not in these markets. She needs some like super expensive fancy spellcasting shit. If there's a jeweler somewhere, she would go pop in there.
Can also Damon like check to see if we're being like tailed or if there's any like
Yeah.
unsettling or menacing looking people around?
Roll perception. And then I guess roll insight. Okay. So, Damon, you don't notice anything, and you get a vibe just like the whole place is a little bit uneasy, just like a little bit hostile. There's no like particular instances of it. You just feel uneasy here. Isolde, you look around you and you see like a number of people who seem to be like tracking you, but nobody seems like to be following you. It's just like you get the feeling that there are eyes everywhere in this city.
Uncomfortable. And no sight of jewelers.
Oh, there wouldn't be any in this part of the market, no.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Any sign of drift globes?
There is a guy in the distance just saying, "Drift globe, drift globe. Come and get drift globe.
I love it.
Make the darkness go away."
Too real there with that last bit, man. It's that Russian drift globe. Are we still at the shop? I'm sorry, I was in my spell book.
I don't exactly know what you guys want to do with the rest of you. So it's getting late, and like the market is starting to kind of close down because it gets dark early here, and so things are sort of closing up, as people don't really want to have their wares out in the dark.
Well,
Yeah,
we
if
could.
it's like bad vibes, we'd probably no.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dinner?
Yes. Back at the tavern, I think, would be best.
So you guys go back to the Frozen Rudder?
I mean, we could also go to back to the trading post, see if the Erindin is there. In the Mirabar district.
Either one's fine with me. I'll just need some grub.
Agreed.
Okay.
Alright.
So if you remember the map, you're in the southern district, and so you're crossing a bridge and you're walking past the Frozen Rudder on your way towards the Mirabar district. And as you're walking across the across the bridges, the wind from like coming across the river just like cuts across the top of the bridge, and like you remember that you are in the north. It is freezing cold. And you make your way towards the Mirabar Shield. And I'd load that, but I'll spare you. I'll just throw you at the Red Dragon Trading Post if you want.
Yeah.
And you walk in to a room full of dwarves, and they all kind of stop and look up at you as you walk in. And
Just kind of do a slight nod and make your way to the bar kind of thing.
okay. And as you do, The short, older dwarven lady says, "Yeah, what do you want?"
Just around, I guess five beers.
You notice that this is kind of a dwarf place, right?
Yes. I mean, it is the Mirabar district, but we have a friend who is here, and we liked the place. So I hope you are not insulted by our patronage.
Very well. And she pours however many ales you want, and it's 5 gold.
Perfect. Who's this Biznick fellow?
I don't know.
I'm gonna go talk to him.
Yeah, he's allowed in here.
So you walk
Yeah,
up to
she'll-
Biznick.
Yeah, she'll get like halfway through her beer and be like, "This is a good idea," and go talk to Biznick.
He looks up, says, "Hello."
Hello.
What brings you here?
Oh, we're just traveling, searching for a bit of coin. Are you an adventurer as well?
No.
What are you doing?
Drinking. And it takes a big gulp.
Very fair. Are you from Luskin?
Yep.
And, alright. Well,
Are you looking for a good time or something? What's you coming up to my table?
I was just hoping to get a kind of lay of the land, meet locals,
I get you. And he winks real heavily.
I'm sorry, sir. Could you tell me anything about the fighting pits here? I heard they're quite popular. We're looking to see the sights.
There's a fighting pit here?
Yep.
Wow.
Enjoy the rest of your beer there. I just my
You
friend.
sure
is
you don't want to
calling
sit
me.
down?
Sorry, I can't. She's
I'll
going to hurry
come
back
back
to the
anytime.
other table. She sits down and silently drinks the rest of her beer.
What do you have to say?
Not much. He seems rather unaware of his surroundings.
Strange, he looks so intuitive.
Right? Was hoping for a bit of wisdom, but no.
Marcus is just chilling out. He is strictly hungry and eating a lot.
Joff is going to chat with the dealmaker real quick. And be like, "Oi, sorry for coming in your establishment, maybe upsetting the natural order of things, but to be honest, much of the reason why we're here tonight is because the captain over at the Frozen Rudder suggested to me that the best tattoos could perhaps be gotten in the Mirabar district. And, was tracking down some leads. I thought maybe you could be of assistance to me."
Yeah, if you got the gold.
Well, as far as paying you for the information, or as far as paying for the tattoo?
As your luck would have it, both.
Oh, it does feel lucky. So I'll order another ale and overpay for it, just a smidge.
She pockets the coin and says, "Are the tattoos you're looking for, are they magical in nature, or are we talking just ornamental stuff.
Well, I was thinking I'd start with a few ornamental, right? But I've already dabbled a bit with the magical tattoos. I would not mind adding on to it. So I suppose I'm seeing what my options are for both, right?
Yeah, I can do both.
What, you personally? Use a tattoo artist?
Yeah, can you tell? And you look at her and she has no tattoos on her at all.
More mistake. I'll just chalk it up to being in the new area that I did not even notice. My apologies. Right, well, I might come back and see you then. You've got some reason for me to believe you're the best?
No.
Well, perhaps I will look around a little bit more, but between you and me, I hope I'm coming back here, right? And then Joe Off will head back to the table with his ale.
What were you talking about?
Oh, just a possibility of getting some tattoos.
Oh, nice. So are you going to make it a point to get one in every town that we stop off at?
Well, if that's the case, I've already failed, right?
Well, major cities.
Yeah, well, I ain't opposed to the idea. We'll see what I can find here. Supposedly she does tattoos, but for the life of me, I can't fucking figure out if she's any good or not.
Well, if you want me to, I could ask and maybe give it a read.
Nah, it's alright. I'll just keep asking around. There's no rush.
I was a bit disappointed that the captain said that there weren't focused communities of northerners or people from Gunderland, because you sure as hell could find a good tattoo artist there, if there were one.
Yeah, it's a good point. Well, perhaps, moving forward, we might come into contact with them again.
Perhaps.
What's on the menu for tonight? What's the food? He looks pointedly at DeMarcus.
Pretty sure DeMarcus has eaten one of everything on the menu at this point.
Yeah. No, it's just indiscriminate eating of everything. I don't know. What am I eating? It's like when you ask him that, he realizes that he hadn't even considered that, and he was basically eating everything that was put in front of him.
You eating two over there?
It's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's mostly it's dwarfish stuff, right? So...
Yeah, a lot of meat and potatoes. Not many vegetables.
It's a good pre-fight diet.
And so he would look at Joe Off and he'd be like, "You drinking your dinner tonight?"
I like to keep my options open. Might drink my dinner and then have a light second dinner of, whatever you've left.
What's Taryn doing?
He's just picking away at his dinner. He's a little distracted.
Nervous?
What?
Does he look nervous?
Not nervous per se, but he's not really focusing on what's going on around him either.
She's paying attention.
He doesn't really notice. He's just kind of a little lost.
Well, I would be happy waiting out and drinking and then going back out into the cold around midnight. Unless anyone else has stuff they want to do.
Oh, we should, like, play some cards, because we do that now.
Yeah, she has dice.
Yeah,
We
dice,
could start a little dice table over here. We'd look like Gopher Squad.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Let's just drink and eat and play games until we go watch people die.
Alright.
Sounds like a good plan.
Okay. Do you guys want to roll to see who's winning?
Fuck yeah, I do.
Alright.
What do we roll?
I think
You-
just intelligence, right?
You can roll intelligence, or charisma if you want to make it like a bluffing situation.
Izzy's drunk.
Wow. Taryn wins the pot of, like after you guys play for a long time, Taryn comes forward by tricking all of you and a master display of deception.
I don't think I understand this game.
Neither do I, Captain. I have yet to master its ins and outs.
Good. At least I'm not the only one. Are you guys ready to go watch the fight? Then
Marcus burps really loud and starts to get up. Sways a little bit.
I'm glad we're not
Chuckles a
fighting
bit.
tonight.
Yeah? To keep your wits about you, though, there's people on the streets.
Okay, so I'm gonna have Isolde roll perception as you're walking through the streets, and then yep. Sweet. So Isolde takes point, sort of watching everybody's back as you walk through the center of Luskin on your way to the fighting pit. And let's see. How is your loot distributed right now? Like, is all of your money technically on Isolde? How's that work?
No, our main thing of money is in the bag of holding.
You have missile with all of your money?
I mean,
I have some of my own money as well.
I was gonna say, like, I know you guys gave him like 1,000 gold to go into inner Mirabar at one point, so like it's not normally on him. Otherwise, he would have just
you
had
are correct.
7,000 gold to spend.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's on Izzy then? I know that she has the diamonds. She has like over $1,000 worth of diamonds on her right now.
Okay.
I thought Taryn was our banker.
Way back when, I think.
Yeah, he stopped when he got kidnapped.
It would be too much to carry, though, wouldn't it? 5,000 gold.
Yeah.
I assumed it was kind of like fairly evenly distributed.
Yeah, so I'm gonna assume it's fairly evenly distributed. And I'm gonna, let's see, roll a 1d7.
D7. 1D.
Okay. Damon, as you guys are walking through the city streets, at one point somebody comes up to you and like sticks their hands in your pockets and your cloak and makes off before you even notice it. But as you're approaching the arena, you notice that your pockets are lighter. And you, let's see, how much money did you guys have on you?
4,900.
Okay, so I would assume it's split evenly 7 ways, so that's 700 apiece. I would say you lose a pouch that had 300 gold coins in it.
As soon as I realized that, I would report it to Isolda and apologize for my negligence.
Like it's just gone?
Yes, Captain. I apologize. I don't know what happened. I was not even aware that it had been taken from me until this very moment.
I was keeping an eye out. I didn't see anything. Maybe it'll turn up.
No, it's gone.
I
Artis looks
appreciate
at
your
Izzy and
optimism.
says, "You're drunk and we're out of our element."
I appreciate your optimism, Captain, but I agree with Johoff and DeMarcus in this case. It is unlikely that in a town like Luskin, I simply placed it somewhere and it will turn up.
Alright, well, I guess just keep an eye out on our way back.
Of course, I apologize again, Captain.
It is alright.
You know, right, back in the day, when I was a little squish, I was fucking good at doing that to people. Oh my god, I stole from so many rich people.
Why'd you stop?
What's that?
Why'd you stop?
Who says I stopped?
She laughs
Didn't you
at
take anything?
And as you say that, you get to the fighting pit, and the guy at the front goes, "All right, I don't even fucking remember his voice. It's real grumbly.
It's a 5 gold person to watch.
Alright. She will get out a little pouch and pay him.
That's what, 35 gold?
Yep, putting it in the ledger.
Here's, man, enjoy the fight. If you want to place any bets, let me know.
And yeah, you walk into the fighting pit, and for a fighting pit, it's pretty like chill. Like there's a lot of people kind of standing around, and it's not, I don't know, like you'd expect it to be like a lot of loud cheering and people amped up, but it's really just like kind of like toned down. Like people are just kind of waiting quietly for the fight to begin. And down in the pit, there's a number of figures who are all kind of like stretching and like sharpening their weapons and sort of like moving around, warming up.
Can I like get a good look at them and see what kind of a mix of fighters they are?
Yeah, so you see down at the bottom, there's a man with a hood up. Looks roguish to you. A man below him is a man who looks like he's from Kalimshan, sporting a spear. He looks older, and when he like swings the spear and thrusts it, it's pretty like slow, and you look at it like, well, this guy's like, you know, not he's a little past his prime. The dwarf in the back is swinging like a 2 hand axes, and he's just kind of like spinning around like he's real amped up. The guy next to him with a glaive is sort of just like swinging as best as he can, but he looks like he just got that armor and he's not comfortable moving in it. And then there's an elf in the front who is kind of like anxiously standing around waiting for this fight to start.
Jeffro was not lying when he said that sizing them up, there wasn't a good chance for this here group.
The only thing seeing them changes is how impressive I find his initial assessment.
Jethro looks at you and says,
If you want to bet, it's 20 to 1 odds against them.
I was more curious about. You have clerics then to keep them from dying?
Well, the rule is try not to kill anybody. Just knock them out unconscious like, and then, leave them as be. But, not everybody follows the rules.
And the monsters they will fight, they respect these rules?
Not so well.
So, is interference frowned upon if one of them is unconscious and still being attacked?
Interference from the audience will get you killed.
Oh. By who?
The audience.
Yeah, Demarcus has been interested the whole time after he looked at all these poor people in the pit at trying to recognize who's in the audience because he wants to tell who their audience might be when they fight so that they can sort of use it.
Yeah, so you see that down south here, Gilgamesh from the Whalers has come and wait, he was in the Whalers, right? I got that right. I think that was right. Whatever I said before. Gilgamesh is down there with some of his, yeah, he's Whalers because he's got his Whaler brutes next to him. He's got a few of his, crew with him watching. And then above you is Kilmane laughing loudly, still drinking heavily with some of his dwarven sailors next to him. And in the far corner, sort of out of your vision, but just barely, I guess, there's no reason you shouldn't be able to see it, but anyways, the train was designed from the inside of the pit, so sorry if you can't see them. But over there is a figure in a big brimmed hat that you assume to be Benji, that you were told about before.
Okay, cool, thanks.
Okay. After I see Gilgamesh down there, Damon would just look at Terran and see if he's A, clocked that Gilgamesh is here, and B, doing alright.
Yeah, he's clocked it and he doesn't seem to mind. He's a little uncomfortable, but he's over the shock, as it were.
Yeah, then Damon would just probably not say anything.
Yeah. I'm gonna turn on global illumination in this. Oh, wait. Turn off that. Just so that you guys can see
Very helpful.
the whole thing.
Roughly how deep is that pit?
It's about a 15-foot drop into the pit.
And then to the ceiling from the bottom of the pit would be...
Oh, 60, 80 feet.
Got it, thank you.
A tall room.
Missile begins taking out pieces of paper and doing calculations of tangents and circumference and so forth.
Okay.
Most importantly though, am I seeing someone selling pretzels up in the upper left-hand corner?
Yeah. As you're sitting there, a lady comes through selling pretzels, and she gets by you and offers you one for a gold.
Fuck yeah.
Missile would buy a pretzel for everyone in the group.
It's 1 gold apiece.
Allow me, Johoff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll buy 7 pretzels.
Very good. You hand one to Damon, who cannot eat pretzels.
It looks good on you, Damon.
I appreciate the gesture nonetheless, Master Missile. Undoubtedly, one among us will want a second pretzel.
And as you guys are talking, a kind of announcer figure comes up over this gate, and he says, "Ladies and gentlemen, you all know me as Quiznik, your favorite host. Welcome to the arena. I hope you've placed your bets." And everybody kind of cheers and claps. Not too excitedly. I think the general feeling in the room is that the pit is not looking super exciting tonight. And he says, "What an exciting lineup we've got for you tonight. Of course, the first round is our heroes, and he looks at his sheet. Band of Warriors. Great name. they are here to fight, your favorite two-eyed giant. Or should I say, two-eyed giants. And, here they are. And he opens the gate. And two giant cyclopses just, like, step into the room, kind of heads ducking under the gate. And they, like, look to the crowd and, like, hold up their maces. And, everybody starts clapping, like, really loudly for the cyclopses. And they bow kind of gracefully. And, is anything you guys do?
I clap.
Very well.
Damon will remark quietly that he has no doubt they'll respect the rules.
And, he says, but the most important person of the hour, please, give your hands up for the Queen of Luskin. And as he says that, in walks a very, regal-looking figure, wearing, like, very fine clothes that are, like, equal parts armor and, like, fancy cloak, and I mean, it's hard to tell where the armor stops and, like, the fine clothes begin. And next to her are two women who look identical, each carrying a staff and kind of, like, standing next to her with, like, perfect posture, kind of unlooking into the crowd. They seem to be her bodyguards. And next to them, a figure appears in kind of fine clothes as well, a member who looks to be of her crew. And he turns, and the whole room claps kind of obediently as she enters the room, but there is a feeling of, like, tension as she stands there, and they're waiting for her to say something. And you guys do anything?
Clap.
Clap. Please clap. The Jeb Bush of sessions. She turns to the room, and she looks down at the group, and she looks disappointed, and she says, well, get on with it. And she sits down in her chair, and the room starts clapping loudly and cheering as the fight begins. And now you guys are going to watch me fight against myself. Because that was your choice.
Yep.
Okay. So, pay no attention to the names. I had to reuse tokens. There's a lot of diverse characters here. Okay. So the Cyclops get the first round, and they come rolling out of the gate fast. This one rolls up to. Let me make it so you can see their HP. This one rolls up to this archer and like rears back his great club and slams it into her and pulls it back again and swings a second time. Already in the first two blows, the archer is unable to duck out of the way and takes two huge hits, bleeding out into the sand already, but not totally caught off her feet. The second Cyclops runs towards this thuggish character and lifts his great club high and brings it down on top of him, smashing him in, and he already hits the ground. And he swings a second time, decapitating him and sending his head flying into the stands. Isolde, make a dex saving throw.
Oh my god. Why would you do that to me?
Yeah, the head hits Isolde and blood squirts all over her clothes and her furs, and the crowd like loses their minds. And
Johab also loses his mind.
Yeah, it is that thug's turn. He is not making a death roll. The archer tries to run away, but the Cyclops swings at her And she ducks out of the way as she does, and then she shoots at him for... she does land a shot, and she runs into the corner, kind of hiding away. This figure with the glaive runs up to stab the Cyclops with a pike, and his pike is just deflected instantly. Where's my... There we go. This old man comes up to this... Oh, shit. Anyways, he stabs up with his spear. I gotta add his HP. And it's the spear sticks in, but he has a hard time kind of like pulling out the spear after he lands it. And the dwarf runs into the center of him and swings at each one. He swings at this one, and then that's swinging his own weapon at himself. He swings his other hand axe at this guy, and he kind of like runs into the center of both of them, swinging madly, and just totally misses both of them, looking like a complete fool. And the Cyclops turns his attention to the old man from Calamsham, and misses as the old man is able to barely duck out of the way. But then his second hit lands true and completely crushes him in one hit, bringing all of his body mass into one big pile of blood soup. And the other Cyclops turns to this man with a pike and hits him so hard that his body goes flying into the crowd, and just blood is shot everywhere, and the crowd cheers. And yeah, you guys want to do anything?
Damon immediately would just have checked that Isolde was okay, after being hit with a severed head.
She's okay. She looks a little queasy, but she mostly was stepping back so that she did not get hit by any other flying body parts.
He would then offer her the pretzel, and then think better of that, and walk over to offer it to Johoff.
Johoff takes it and is just grabs it and starts eating it while he's staring intently at well, I won't call it a fight, at the massacre, just giggling to himself.
Terran comments that the Cyclops don't actually seem that powerful.
The
Pretzel.
the elf starts to kind of crawl up the side of the wall trying to escape, and spends her turn trying to get over the lip to get out of the pit, climbing 15 feet. The guard is dead. The Calamsham guy is dead, and the axe of Mirabar, seemingly not paying attention to any of these losses, swings his axes again at both and misses, still in a complete and total frenzy. And the Cyclopses get on both sides of him now and just start hammering into him. And he's able to dodge one hit and then takes one, and dodge another hit and takes one. And he's starting to slow down. The archer now has been stopped by the bodyguard of the queen, and the archer has thrown her bow on the ground and has put her hands up saying, please, we surrender. And the axe of Mirabar still swings wildly at these two people and achieves nothing. The Cyclopses finally turn onto the axe here, and one final hit brings him down, and he's knocked unconscious but not dead. And the second Cyclops, not noticing that he's dead, brings it down and totally crushes him, killing him instantly. And the fight kind of stops as the two Cyclopses look up at the queen, who has walked over to the elf, who is standing in the corner with her hands up, being stopped from leaving by the kind of guard of the queen. And the queen turns to the crowd and looks kind of for what they're thinking. How are you guys reacting?
Joe will open his mouth to like start yelling, and then he turns and looks at Izzy and like snaps his mouth shut.
And the rest of the crowd starts shouting, "Parlay, parlay, parlay." And the queen steps forward and says, "Well, do you all want to parlay?" And the elf starts like nodding very like rapidly with her hands up, like trying to win her life. And the queen says, "Very well." And she's looking at your guys' group. Do you guys do anything?
I would do the same thing that the rest of the crowd is doing, just to not be.
You would shout parlay.
Yeah.
Missile would be oblivious to pretty much the whole thing and not really paying attention to the fight at all. And he would be looking for like inspecting or investigating the pit for any weaknesses in the wall, loose boulders, loose spears, just any kind of like.
I'll give you that
strategic,
after. You can roll that after.
Got it. Yeah.
Okay. So as she's looking around the room and everybody's chanting parlay, and your group, she kind of turns and looks at you, almost looking in like at Isolde exactly, and sees Isolde saying parlay as well. She pulls out her sword and stabs the elf 3 times, killing her instantly. And everybody in the crowd cheers. And she walks back to the throne and sits down, crosses her legs, and kind of sits unhappy.
Can I just like ask the guy here, why would the archer want a parlay if that is what the parlay was?
I don't think the archer knew that she named her sword Parlay.
Oh. Clever.
Joe lets out a pretty loud guffaw when he hears that.
Marcus walks up to Izzy and says, "Queen is disappointed we have an opportunity if we jump in and entertain her to gain her attention."
This strikes Izzy as like new information that she had not considered, and turns to the rest of the group. Would you all be willing to go in there to give the queen a better show?
Well, I'm drunk and ready to go. Yup.
Taryn
I
nods.
mean, it is possible that what just happened could happen to us.
That hardly separates it out from any other day, doesn't it?
I suppose.
I don't think the warriors in the ring were strong enough to really give us an indication of how strong the Cyclopses actually are. So, like, I don't actually mind our chances.
We did see one arrow decrease the health of the one Cyclops, as we can see.
Yes, they are not impenetrable.
I just realized I did that whole fight rolling self. Like, you guys didn't see any of the rolls.
Yeah.
It's fine.
That kind of felt right to me.
Okay,
Yeah,
fair enough.
That felt like it was what you meant to do.
So that was a super well-designed thing I did.
I was thinking that was very clever.
God,
Yeah, it was nice because our chat continued. It wasn't like filled with. Anyway, she's gonna turn to that guy and say, "Is it possible for anyone to join the fight at this point?"
Yeah, it's usually kind of a thing you schedule ahead. I offered you a spot earlier.
Can Damon then, like, hearing that, say rather conspicuously, that wasn't a particularly amusing fight.
No, I told you it wouldn't be.
And everyone in here paid for the privilege of watching that?
Yup.
So, Marcus, is it like loud in there? What's going on?
It's starting to get like kind of quiet again. People were cheering pretty loudly when the queen like gutted the elf with like a few choice like flourishes of her rapier.
So, if possible, like if DeMarcus is like seeing something that he can like get into a spot where like if he yells, basically, does he get the vibe that like he would be heard across?
Yeah.
across
No, you're getting the vibe now that it's getting quiet enough, and this is a big echoey room. You like your voice would definitely carry.
So, regardless of what that one guy is saying, he would kind of like step up to the edge of the pit and he would yell kind of like as loudly as he possibly could to address everyone. This fight wasn't entertaining for any of us, but me and my friends think that we can entertain you all if you'll let us.
And like as soon as you do, the whole room like turns and sort of like leans towards you, like, and then looks towards the queen like, oh fuck. And she stands up from her throne and kind of like
DeMarcus bows when she stands up.
and she notices you bowing and looks to the rest of your group not bowing and kind of just
I would follow suit as soon
Yeah,
as
we
DeMarcus
follow
bowed.
suit.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
Just would be rubbing his chin and still calculating.
And she turns to the rest of the group, or like the rest of the people, and she says, "See how they act? They bow for me. Perhaps all of you could learn something from our visitors." And the whole room kind of like lets out a roar of laughter, and she waits for it to kind of die down, and as soon as it does, she says, "What did you have in mind, Paladin?"
Whatever would please the queen.
Very well. If your group wants to fight these two capable monsters, then have at it. And she like gestures for you to like descend into the pit. And he says to you guys,
That's still gonna be 50 gold apiece. That's how it works.
Alright, I'll take it on word thing.
and
It was all just a ruse to try to avoid the entry fee.
do you guys all descend into the pit?
Could I get that investigation in before I do that?
Yeah, roll investigation. Yeah, dude. You don't see anything like particularly like that stands out. But you don't see anything like a trap. You don't notice any like vulnerabilities or weaknesses. Yeah.
Could I add Flash of Genius if necessary to determine the weight of those rocks? Or if there are any loose spears in particular?
Yeah, I'll allow it and say like those spikes are pretty well like stuck into the wall, but the rocks are each like 500 pounds.
£500 rocks? Got it. Cool,
Yeah.
thank you.
Just to clarify, are we just fighting the Cyclopses, or are we going through like the whole trials or whatever?
Well, this is the first round of the trials.
Yeah, but like, are all the trials in the same night?
Yes.
Okay.
And the queen says, well, do you have a name?
DeMarcus says he kind of like walks closer to her, sort of like bows in acknowledgement and says, Bear Squad.
Very well. And she yells up to Quiznik and says, they're called Bear Squad. And he goes, all right, Bear Squad has entered the arena and they are ready to fight, hopefully giving us a better show. And the two Cyclopses drink potions that they had on their belt and return to Fallout.
Would I be able to use Morty's protector before we get going?
Yeah.
All right.
Use a spell slot to do it, but that's fine.
All right. First level?
Yeah, first level spell slot. And yeah, so that would give everybody that huddles around 1d8 plus 7. So we're just gonna max that out. We'll say like you guys stand around it for enough time, like a couple rounds until it rolls high, and so everybody gets 15 HP, temp HP.
I'm gonna take one of those 2 gold rings that Missile bought in Inner Mirror Bar and give it to DeMarcus, and cast Warding Bond on him.
I think before this, Damon might have tried to hand the scroll of Fireball to Taryn as well, knowing that, like, as another magic user, he might be able to make use of it while we're in here.
I'll add it to my inventory.
Very cool.
Are scrolls in the
Magic scrolls might be, but I don't know about like specific scrolls. So it'd be like 3rd level scroll, and then you could write on it. Yeah.
I'll just
Spell scroll 3rd level, and then put Fireball in quotes. But then you just cast Fireball from your belt. Probably easier way to do it. So, as you guys are sort of standing there around, hovered around Missile, as he's buffing you, the queen says, "Well, are you ready?"
Marks looks up and nods.
And you guys sort of fan out into your direction, and the fight begins. Oh man! All right, hold on.
Nah, leave their corpses on, man.
Big corpses
You-
with initiative.
Yeah, Missile is pretty good at levitating them and doing cool shit.
I don't know if the Cyclopses can
Damn,
deal with my
that's fucking sick rolls. Yeah, the bodies are gonna be there in the middle of the pit.
Lovely.
Except for the one that flew out. You guys have to roll initiative.
I disconnected for a second, so I might be out for a second.
Oh, no worries.
Reloading.
Same.
Oh, I guess I'm rolling for Vosner. Wow, I gave Vosner a pretty decent roll. Not bad.
I might have to reload. Mine's not working right. John, can you roll initiative for me?
Yep.
I'm in a similar difficulty.
Yeah, I think maybe my net dropped for a little bit, and you guys all lost connection to me.
It's having a little bit of trouble reconnecting, but Yeah, I can't reconnect, but like I can go on other websites, so it's not on my end. I don't.
Okay,
think
I'll
that's a
refresh my shit and see if that fixes it for you.
problem. Sweet.
Try again now.
No.
The fuck?
Same.
Yeah, I'm just getting the site can't be reached.
Yeah.
That's fucking wild because my internet's not dropping right now.
Yeah, I'm also having the same thing.
Okay, I will close the program and start it over.
Some crazy kind of magic that these Cyclopses have.
Yep.
Just paralyze us all at the beginning.
Yeah, you guys are all taking a lot of damage right now.
All right. Yeah, I got the join screen.
Yeah, I'm back in as well.
Yeah, I just had to restart the program. I don't know.
Sweet. Yep, I'm here.
Cool, cool. Okay, we're in initiative. Johoff missile. Johoff gets to go first. Okay. Okay, so combat begins. Oh, with Johoff. What does Johoff do?
So Johoff is gonna run up to the one on the left and do something very out of character. He's gonna punch him.
Oh.
Darts, Johoff! Remember the darts!
Oh, we're paused.
You shouldn't be.
Oh, okay. I'm better.
Oh my god, those are the worst freaking rolls ever. Alright, well, that was embarrassing. But, let's see, it was 30, so I've got 15 plus 15, so I have another 30 back. Flurry of blows. I don't want to talk about it. Nobody looked.
I mean, you still did better than the last team, so.
Fair.
Okay.
Alright.
Johoff walked back with like his head hung low. Like,
Yeah, he's upset.
Yeah. So as you you swing at that guy, he gets mad and chases you and comes swinging at you with his great club and hits you for 15. Which you have temp HP. I was like, what the fuck? Perfect. And then swings a second time, critically missing you, like just totally whiffs. So he like catches you, and it hits like the magic aura that's kind of coated you from missile, and just like completely destroys that, but doesn't really bring a hit onto you. And this one approaches and moves 35 feet right at Terran.
That's not good.
And swings his great club, hitting Terran, but not destroying his. Oh shit!
Oh, that wasn't good.
But then crits.
Then he crits him.
Slamming his maul into Terran's chest, and I'm gonna say throwing him kind of over this way, and knocking you prone.
Alright,
And
that's fine.
Bosner is up, and I am him. He is going to wild shape into a scorpion. And come at this giant with his scorpion powers. Giving him a claw. Oop, I didn't mean to do that twice. And then a sting. And he tries to inject venom into the Cyclops, but he resists. And that is Vossner's turn. To Marcus.
Okay, so let's see. DeMarcus is gonna, seeing the Cyclops just kind of like run up and take a terrible swing at Johoff. He's gonna kind of like move around to the opposite corner of him basically and try to flank him. They're pretty big. Like
yeah. So just for the record, we stopped doing like flanking stuff.
Okay.
For
I think
advantage.
just narratively.
Yeah, no, I think it makes a lot of sense narratively, and then it makes a lot of sense for like it's more difficult for him to move because he'll take attacks of opportunity. So it makes sense.
Yeah. All right, cool. And then I'm going to cast Hunter's Mark. Oh yeah, I have to. I have to target something, and I never, even if I'm on myself or something else, it never works to actually do it.
Hold Alt. In order to target something, you need to have that little like. You can't have the ruler selected. That's like one thing I learned.
I think I'm off that. Yeah, I don't have the ruler selected. Anyway, sorry, I'll get it going in a second.
Do you have the person selected in the top left, and then the little box in the top right, or not top right, but next to, one right to it?
Sorry, I don't know what you mean. We'll have to go through it again. I don't want to waste everybody's time. I'll just add a d6. Is that okay? Because I think I would have to do that anyway. Would it automatically add a d6 to my attack rolls?
Yeah, but in order to swing at something, you have to target it. Oh, you targeted it just now.
Oh, yeah, no, I didn't mean that. I just meant, yeah, I'm sorry. I was talking about actually getting...
casting the spell. Yeah, that's fine. So swing at it and then do the Hunter's Mark.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So you bring your maul down on the back legs of the Cyclops, hitting it for 13.
What, roll d6?
Yeah. Or you can just click the Hunter's Mark damage on the spell. If you just... Here, let me roll it. Yeah, I haven't have anything targeted. See, if you just click the spell, it will roll it. If you target.
Okay. For some reason I feel like that wasn't working for me. I'll give it a try next time though. Oh shit, okay. Okay, so yeah, and then I'll hit him again, and I think feeling confident I'll go with good swing.
And you miss.
Alright.
Isolde!
Oh, there's a big scorpion between me and Terran. I am going to, I guess, like, reach out to the leg of the Cyclops and cast Inflict Wounds on it.
Cool.
Do something. Damn.
4th level, inflict wounds.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
I
Look
feel
how
your
we're trying to impress her, and like we're just totally fucking this up.
Terran, you're up.
Alright, Terran's gonna stand up. That's half his movement. And then go 5, 10, 15. Would a lightning bolt across here hit them, or since it's just kind of like the corners, it would miss?
I could, I'd say it'd hit. It might not actually hit them, but it should hit them. It is another one of those things where you're like aiming center mass. You should actually, I'll just say you should probably hit it across the center, like square.
Okay, that's kind of what I was thinking. So yeah, that's not what I'll do. Instead, I'm gonna have to refresh. I can't select anything. I've
found that sometimes when I can't select anything, it's because I don't have the selection tool selected. If I have the measuring thing for moving, then it won't let you select.
Okay.
Like if you have this thing up, it won't let you select.
All right. What I'm gonna do is just cast a chromatic orb
Okay.
on this guy. Start.
Yeah. You hurl a cold orb of chromatic nature at the Cyclops and hit him. Is that your turn?
It's my turn. I rolled a 4 and hit him, so I don't know what you guys' problems are.
They were rolling 2s and 3s, I believe, and 1s.
Lord.
1, 2s, and 3s. Damon, you're up.
All right. Classic turn 1 move. Cast haste on myself. And then use a bonus action to light up my sword. And then just swing at this guy right here.
Got it. Yeah, it hits, and the flaming sword like kind of spooks the Cyclops, and he looks at you like, "The fuck?"
That's good, because I would do anything I could to try and get their attention on me.
Yeah, it definitely works. Missile, you're up.
Okay. I'm going to use first a bonus action to switch Morty to, let's say, Force Ballista.
Okay.
Then I'm going to move 25 feet. Whoops, sorry. Messing up here. Bring Morty along with. Right, and then I'm going to cast, in preparation for fighting in such a rink, Missile prepared the spell Web.
Okay.
And I'm gonna try. So Missile's gonna load up like it looks like a quart of eggnog, but it's in a glass cartridge. He's gonna load it into his arcane firearm. He's gonna aim for like right in between the two Cyclopses, and he's gonna try to restrain them to each other.
Yeah. So if you wanted to land that and have it hit both of them, I think it has to hit a majority of the squares that they make up. So they make up 9 squares, and so you'd have to hit at least 5 of them.
Okay.
Which realistically means 6 of them.
Is that not possible then, the way they're at, or would I end up getting
you
Joe
wouldn't
Hop
be able to
restrained
get
too?
both of them. They're also huge, like they're literally classified as huge monsters. So I don't think you'd have enough web to cover both of them. Also,
Right,
the
so
fact that web says fire damage is kind of strange. But we can move that. Which one do you want to target more? The one on the left or the one on the right?
Let's do the one on the right.
Okay, so that's viable or this is viable. Which would you prefer?
Let's go up one, the first one, just so that the others
Yep.
don't risk getting restrained by it.
And can you read the spell to me? I think it's a dexterity saving throw.
Yes it is. Each creature that starts its turn into the webs or that enters them must make a dex saving throw. On a failed save, it's restrained.
Oh, so it's on their turn. Got it. They don't have to do a save right now. Oh. It says here, the webs are difficult terrain. If the webs aren't anchored... Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
It says if the webs aren't anchored between 2 solid masses, such as walls or trees, or layered across the floor... Oh wait, I guess it'd be layered across the floor.
Initially, I wanted to use it between the two of them, but since they weren't spaced properly,
Yeah.
we got to here.
Okay. Anyways, yeah, I don't think you could use them as the mass if you wanted to hold them. They would... Anyways. Yeah, so, yeah, you shoot the spider web, and each creature that starts their turn there will have to make a dex save, and they'll be restrained if they fail it.
Right. And then strength to break free on subsequent turns.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Are you gonna have Morty fire, or was that his turn switching to a force explosive?
I don't think I can have
Yeah,
him fire.
that's fair. Okay, Joe Huff, you're up.
Alright, I'm gonna somewhat sheepishly, I guess, try to punch again. Hopefully it goes a little better this time.
Nice. Hey. Oh my god.
What the hell?
Yeah, dude. You also clicked Flurry of Blows twice, so make sure you didn't use an
Did
extra
I
key
really?
point.
Oh yeah, okay, I'll double check on that.
Yeah.
And I'm actually going to use the disengage
Okay.
to step back, really just like the one space, so that once they get to me, it has to take an attack of opportunity
Got it.
from DeMarcus.
Okay. This Cyclops is going to turn to DeMarcus and swing his Great Club. And miss. And swing and hit. Smashing through whatever extra temporary HP you had and kind of slamming into your body. This is not the first time you've been struck by the Great Club of a giant and huge monster.
Since I had warding bond on him,
Oh,
I should be taking half of that.
okay. So
Also, his AC is +1, so I don't
is-
know.
The second one still would hit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so DeMarcus, you go up. What was he at? 75 minus 11. So you go up 5 health.
Yeah, and I had the 15 temp.
Laurel,
Yeah.
take 5 damage. I already calculated the temp in. It should be fine as long as Laurel takes 5 damage.
Yep.
So this guy is going to attack your scorpion friend. And miss. And then hit. And it is Vosner's turn. And Vosner is going to snip snap. Claw. I don't know if he gets a claw and a sting and another claw. Oh yeah, he does. Alright, another claw. So, Vosner is a giant scorpion in this sand pit. It's just like juking and jiving, snipping and snapping, giving the Cyclops poisonous stings all over his giant legs. And it is DeMarcus' turn.
Since he failed his saving throw, does that mean he's poisoned?
Depends on the sting. Nope, it's just poison damage. It's not like the poisoned state. Some things make you poisoned and some things just do poison damage. Yeah,
I'm gonna put a first level smite on that.
go for it. Oh. You should be able to click it in your spells.
Okay.
So next time you can basically cast it like Divine Smite the spell, quote unquote. It will consume the spell slot and it will, yeah, apply
I
the
think
damage.
it consumed the spell slot that time.
What's up?
It consumed the spell slot that time, I think. Right?
I don't think so,
Yeah,
because you
'cause I thought
casted Hunter's Mark earlier and you're still 3 of 4.
Oh, it just changed to 3 or 4. I was 2. I don't know what's going on. I just like literally saw it change from 2 to 4. Okay, cool. Here, I'll manually take it down to 2 for that.
And then,
Did the damage apply?
I applied it, and then rolled a d6
Okay.
for the Hunter's Mark.
Oh, right.
Isolde, you're up.
Oh, sorry, John. I got one more attack. That
Sure.
was just the first one.
Oh, yep, got it. Sorry.
That's okay. Yep, and
And then the
I'm gonna put on.
Hunter's Mark.
Yeah, I gotcha.
You can either roll it from the spell sheet and then just say don't consume spell slot, or
Yeah, I think I got it figured out there. And then I think I'm gonna put a second level smite on that one. I can't put there. Shit. Alright, I'm trying to do. I haven't done it that way before. What does it do when?
It's in your spell list, so it's a first level spell.
Yeah. Is that not right though? Does that not apply and stuff?
No, that doesn't
If I
apply
do
to
it like
anything.
that? Oh shit. Okay. All right.
So if I cast it from your, what level do you want to cast it at? You see it in your spellbook.
Second level.
So in your
I do. I just
yeah.
didn't know how to pick the level one.
Yeah, when you click the
Oh, there it
roll
is. I
button.
got it. I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, sorry. You want me to do it? Or...
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if it would be tonight.
Yeah, there we go. So you hit him for 20 damage, and bright light erupts from your maul twice. And yeah, we got both of the Hunter's Marks, so we're good to go. Now it's Isolde's turn.
Alright, she is going to summon her Spirit Guardian.
Oofda.
And yeah, it always targets him. But you know, mainly just the Cyclops. Good to know I got another natural one out of my system though.
You got plenty.
Saving from my own attack.
Well, it doesn't do damage until their turn, right?
Correct. Let me look. Yeah, when the creature enters the area for the first time on a turn, or starts his.
Yeah, I think it's a start their turn thing.
Okay.
Taryn, you're up.
Taryn just walks over to the edge of the webs, pulls out his wand. He kind of glances up at Gilgamesh, and then back to the battle, and then twins blight on both of those guys. If I can get it to work.
Yeah, it looks like you got to target him. You got it targeted, sorry.
Standard cast.
Yeah. So, one of them makes the save and one of them fails, and you hurl a bunch of poorly rolled damage. Holy shit.
That's a terrible roll.
3, 3, 2, 1, 1, 1, 4, 8. Beautiful. Yep.
We should not fight in midnight fights after drinking.
Yeah, you guys are. I'm just gonna chalk it up to you guys all being drunk after seriously drinking at 3 different bars. You drank at one, and then you left, and drank at another one, and then you left and drank at a third one.
Literally
That's
since
great
like
for the
2
rest of
p.m.
them.
until midnight.
Yeah, you've been drinking all day. I should have made you make like Constitution saving throws and like disadvantage and poisoned, but I'm just gonna say that these rolls are bad enough. Damon, you are up.
Right on. I'm just gonna swing away.
It also accounts for DeMarcus boastfully just jumping up and proclaiming to everyone that they were getting this fight.
Oh, actually, I did want to clear something up. So if I hit like where the webs are on this dude, those start on fire, and then if they disappear after 1 round, does that mean like my next turn the webs are gone? So he would still start his turn in burning webs.
That sounds fair.
Okay, cool. Yeah, then I'll swing again and see if I can hit.
Nice, dude.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
So you hit him and you light all of the webs on fire. And yeah, he will start his turn in burning webs.
And
Is
we'll
that
take
2d6? Is that 2d6 plus 1 plus 2 plus another 2d6 and it still only was 9?
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
accurate.
It's a 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2.
Wow.
Excellent.
You guys are rolling like bottom damage rolls. Okay. Missile, you're up.
Pretzels.
Yeah, so that Cyclops is already on fire, so he'll start his turn with 2d4 fire damage. See, I was gonna light him on fire, but Damon beat me to it.
You can light him on fire more.
I could. Alright, I'm going to just... We're gonna have Morty fire his Force Ballista first. At the one up by DeMarcus. Kerpow. Look at that boy. Oh, he's growing up.
Damn.
Oh, he did it again. So, I guess, could we have Morty fire that Force Ballista right through his eye and come out the back of his skull?
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, my boy's growing up. I'm proud of him all of a sudden. And then
He's the only one who's not drunk right now, so.
I'm also not drunk.
not yet.
The crowd is sort of like erupting in cheers as you guys are beating them, but then that shot goes through the eye and like blows out the brains of the Cyclops, killing him instantly, and the crowd gets a little bit quieter.
What? Whatever. Well, I'm gonna keep. I obviously don't notice, and so I'm going to Scorching Ray, the other bad boy here. Nice. Let's follow that up with our firearm. Terrible.
Love these rolls.
This is all about the showmanship of giving a good fight. That's all this is.
I still
Entertainment
got
purposes.
2 more Scorching Rays to finish that off. Let me do that.
We're just giving the people what they came for.
Oh, yeah. And 1 more. Kapow. Ah, man. Alright. Good enough.
Yeah, so you just, between you and Missile, you just unload a barrage of explosions at these Cyclopses, killing one of them instantly and then hurting the other one who's now on fire.
Somewhat surprisingly, after that, Missile's shoulders will kind of sag and he'll look very tired, like he really wants to sit down.
Joab, it's your turn.
Alright, Joab's gonna walk over to this one, like kicking rocks and sand despondently on the way over. Fucking hell! Oh my god! John, I want you to undo whatever patch has been done to Foundry.
I do have the mod called Better Dice Rolls, and I think that's just better for the DM. I love you so much.
Oh my god.
I fucking quit. I mean, literally, Johop is literally gonna just turn and like walk away.
This Cyclops, now on fire, kind of like frantically running in all directions, kind of like falls backwards, provoking
He's gotta
attacks
make
of
his,
yeah.
Wisdom save first.
So wisdom save. And I guess that's a fail.
Yep. So it's 4d8.
He's got his fire damage as well to take.
Nice. A 13 on a 48. High quality stuff
Shut up,
here,
John.
folks. And he falls back on fire, and the fire like burns him, and knocks him unconscious.
Can I make like a charisma or performance check to see if I can like rile up the crowd?
Yeah. How do you do it?
He kind of does like the just kind of like I don't know, like when you dunk on somebody and then kind of like flex over them type of thing.
Yeah, so you do like the flex move on the body of a burning Cyclops. And the queen kind of stands up. The whole room has kind of gone quiet. They were rooting for the fight, but you guys have really just beat the shit out of these two Cyclopses who were...
I'm gonna try to put the fire out on this Cyclops.
Okay.
Immediately when that one went down, DeMarcus would have turned to where the queen is and bowed. Like, actually, like, gotten on a knee and, like, stayed in a bowed position.
She claps, and the rest of the audience begins to clap, kind of along with her. And she says, "Very well. It appears that we have a show." And she turns to Quiznik and says, "Bring in the next round. And we should probably end there unless you guys want to do another knockdown, drag-out fight."
Oh man.
I've got to actually head out. I think.
No worries.
Yeah, better goals next time.
So next week you will start in the heart of the Luskin fighting pit, fighting round 2.
That's if Joe
There's,
climb out and just walk away.
I imagine my spirit guardian stays up because it stays up for 10 minutes.
I don't know. I think they would do a reset.
Okay.
So I would say maybe Spirit Guardians, 'cause 10 minutes does sound kind of long. But everything that's like 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes, is definitely going to fade. So haste and any one of the 1 minute buffs.
Cool.
But yeah.
With Demon's Haste, would he also be penalized for his next turn in combat, or would he be
Not
able to
in
penalize
combat,
so
no.
that-
All of that penalized stuff would be out of combat.
Can I tell if anyone is looking at the ghosts of my ancestors weird? Like, weirder than ghosts, but more so that they're Northmen?
I don't think that's something they can discern looking
Okay, good.
from far away. I think you'd have to be pretty close. It looks really wispy to them.
Okay, good. That was my only concern about that spell.
Word.
Alright,
Okay.
folks, I gotta head out. It was
Yep.
good being with you.
Bye, fam.
Yep.
Bye, everybody. See ya.
Bye.
See ya.
Nice work.